All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We got Alex Lima in the house, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts. Talk about self-defense. Also, this gun brace, pistol brace law that was recently passed. They're trying to overturn that. But we like to feature our listings, and we got a couple of hot ones here. This property's on Diana. It's 3048 Diana Drive in Zephyr Hills. We got a great opportunity for you here. This is a USDA loan qualified, so that means you get 100% financing on this home on Diana Drive, Zephyr Hills. Over an acre of land. You got 4 spacious bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, master suite, garden tub, double sink, and a separate shower. 3048 Diana Drive, over an acre of land in Zephyr Hills. Beautiful property, great opportunity with that 100% financing option. According to the USDA, they do these rural/agricultural loans. 14 Baywood Drive. This one is a beautiful home, and it's in a nice community. You've got access to the deep water fishing out there in the Gulf of Mexico, Honeymoon Island, all those beautiful places. 2913 square feet, 2913 square feet at 14 Baywood Drive, Palm Harbor, Pinellas County. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, completely remodeled 3-story home. Wood-burning fireplace in the living room, vaulted ceilings, pool, and screened-in back porch. And again, it's a waterfront community, so you got a private boat ramp where you can take your boat down and go out and go fishing and skiing and enjoy that Florida lifestyle to the fullest. You can see all of our real estate listings, PlatinumCoastalElite.com. All right, we got Alex Lima back in studio, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts. And Alex, we've been catching up on a lot of these different stories, these different, we have a local-based show, but, we see these national stories happen, and we feel like we need to give our perspective from, kind of a normal person's perspective of the news happening out there. It seems like we've been catching up on some of these stories. The one that's right up your alley, I wanted to jump right into, was this pistol brace, because you are you're certified now in the different classes that Thomas King Florida Firearms Academy has put together, and you've done a lot of training over there. I want to play this clip, and I want to get your reaction to it.
The pistol brace is simply a piece of plastic that allows disabled veterans and other people, women for instance, to handle their pistol better. It is absolutely constitutional under the Second Amendment. This is definitely an infringement, so that's the pistol brace rule. We also have executive orders on electric vehicles, on gas stoves. They're looking at your heating and air conditioning system. So they are throwing everything against the wall to try to, 1, kill the fossil fuel industry, and 2, control what you buy, what you use. So this is one of the biggest ones because it falls under the Second Amendment. But there are many others that they're trying to get through.
Talking about executive orders, what's your reaction?
Yeah, so all the things with the firearm laws, I mean, not all of them. I mean, some restrictions, I guess, to an extent are okay. Like, I don't believe, just any American, even if you're born here in the good old USA, should just be able to walk into a store and just, like, buy, like, a flamethrower or hand grenades and stuff like that,
Sure.
But so things like that has to do with safety. That's different. But like the pistol brace, I for example have an AR pistol, right? And I up until that ruling had a pistol brace because it makes the firearm more controllable and manageable,
right?
Even for myself, right? I mean, I'm a strong guy; I can hold on to it, if I had to without it. But because of having that pistol brace, if I hadn't removed it, and I did, in case they're listening, I followed the laws for the time being. I would be a felon right now, facing 10 years in prison, and I want to say it's like $300,000 or a couple $100,000.
Ridiculous,
dude. For being a law-abiding, I purchased that thing legally. I didn't build it or buy it black market, know. But like that pistol braces and suppressors as well. Those aren't firearms; they're attachments that you put on to make it safer for the law-abiding citizen to utilize.
Yeah,
I don't recommend this, but don't do what you see on TV or whatever, right? Do not fire your gun in your house. But it's going to be very loud. So in a self-defense situation, 3 o'clock in the morning, you're already disoriented. Someone kicks in your door, you hear some noise, and you go and you pull out your firearm, and you go and you shoot. It's going to be very loud. I highly recommend you utilize a suppressor, but they don't want you using one. So they have an agenda, right? So if they cannot just straight up, because they still want to claim that they're following the Constitution and following laws, even though we know they're doing some shady stuff on the side, right? So what they do is they can't just like wipe it out, but what they can do is make it incredibly difficult for you to obtain and own these things. We're going to make it super expensive. You have to pay extra fees. We're going to make it hard to find.
Stamps.
Right now there's a brass shortage. So even the price of ammo has gone up.
Yeah.
You know, it's very convenient that with this ATF ruling and all these prices on tax stamps and stuff and everything, and all these things are trying to put into play, that brass is also, there's a shortage now as well.
Yeah.
What you're telling me in all of America, there's not enough brass to go around,
right?
So that I can go to the range. This is nuts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, inflation's up. You know, the cost of everything's up. Seems like everything's up except Biden's poll numbers and his ability to stand up at a speech. But we're talking with Alex Lima, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. So yeah, the pistol brace was one of the big stories I wanted to get to because not only that, it's the fossil fuels. They want to attack the fossil fuels and then also the control of you. They want to control you, the American citizen. So, please talk to your friends, talk to other people, share this news, let them know that they're on the wrong side if they're supporting, these types of things.
Yeah. And I'm also glad that organizations like the NRA and the USCCA and stuff like that are fighting for that because, the House voted and they're trying to overturn that. So they're still fighting for us to have our God-given rights, our Second Amendment rights.
Yeah. Here's an interesting clip because we talk about a double standard and a two-tier justice system, but it's also the mainstream corporate corrupt media. This is an interesting story, how they ignore one story, but they're going to talk about another.
Last week, Network Nightly News ignored the revelations from an FBI document involving the Bidens and a Ukrainian company, Burisma.
The FBI document, which has now been seen by members of Congress, alleges that the owner of Burisma paid $10 million in bribes to the Bidens to shut down an investigation into the gas concern. Here to discuss is Daily Wire contributor David Marcus. Hey, Dave. So just how paltry was the coverage of the Biden story?
Morning. Media Research Center looked at the news coverage for ABC, NBC, and CBS from June 8th to the 12th. That's the 4 days after both the Trump indictment was announced and in which we learned the FBI document alleging a Biden bribery scandal was about Ukraine and Burisma. The numbers could not be more stark. The Trump story garnered a whopping 291 minutes of coverage, while the Biden story got 0 minutes, zilch.
Isn't that ridiculous? I mean, it's just unbelievable. And most people that don't watch other networks, they tune in the traditional, ABC, CBS, they are not getting the full picture here.
Propaganda machines, man. How can that be ignored? It's not. You can't write that off. It's not like, hey, we saw Biden eating pizza with so and so. No, we're talking about $10 million handed to this family.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I'm not there. I didn't see what the money was spent on or how the conversation went down, but that sounds pretty suspect to me.
It's all alleged, but yeah, 10 different or 8 or 10 different family members now. It's like the proof is piling up, but they're not going to do anything about it, because I think on one hand they know, hey, this next election doesn't matter if Trump gets 1 trillion votes. They've got the systems and the mechanisms behind this thing to get 1 trillion plus one.
It's insane. It's insane. It's definitely worth at least being investigated as it should be. It should be hit hard. It should be hit harder. It's one thing to have right now you have a former president being indicted. A current president is caught in a tremendous scandal. His son, everything, right? That is worth being investigated.
Bigger news.
Sounds like it to me.
It's bigger news than a previous client having overdue or a president having overdue library books.
I think so.
It's ticky-tack. It's crazy what's happening there. Now, here's an interesting story, too. This is spies in Cuba, CCP. We got Chinese Communist Party ties now in Cuba. I think we all kind of knew that was probably happening. But again, watch how they spend this.
A recent Wall Street Journal report revealed information about a multi-billion-dollar deal between China and Cuba for China to establish an electronic eavesdropping facility on the island roughly 100 miles from the U.S. Now, the Biden administration has not only validated that claim, but has blamed the previous administration for allowing it to happen, saying the base has been operational since 2019.
Joining us to discuss is Deputy Editor of Asia Times and Claremont Fellow David Goldman. So, David, what do we need to know about this deal between China and Cuba on this alleged spy facility? What are they up to here?
According to the tech spooks that I've talked to, getting satellite information from above us is probably more efficient than collecting information from 100 miles away on the ground. So in terms of China's ability to steal information or target us, I doubt that it adds a great deal. Remember, the Biden administration first denied that it existed, and then Blinken said, well, it did exist, and it's Trump's problem because it was created in 2019. That's a real Keystone Cops response, and very disappointing.
Well, you know whose fault it is too. It's the Uniparty throughout the '80s, the Clintons, the Bushes, throughout the '80s. You know, all this time. Remember growing up, you'd think, "Wow, everything says it's made in China. Wow, what's going on? Everything's made in China." And then you would look at it and you would say, "Well, how does this happen?" Well, they're offshoring jobs. Yeah. They're offshoring all the manufacturing, and so China has all this money. So this was supposedly a multi-billion-dollar deal. So we're embracing and allowing these people to do that. We're ignoring the fact that they have these Uyghur slaves, and then you have the NBA, all these different people, LeBron, all these different people supporting China. And you know, I like what Elon Musk has done with Twitter, but he's also got manufacturing facilities for Tesla over there in China as well.
He does, but at the same, I mean, and I'm not defending it. I think everything, I think it should be made in America. But he at the time of building all that, I mean, he was doing it when everybody was still outsourcing. Right. So it was just a business move. I don't think he was intentionally like, I want to get with the communists, and
Sure.
But then again, I don't know. I can't confirm or deny any of that.
Yep.
But it's wild to me. So they can deny everything until they can't deny it anymore, and then go, well, we just didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, bro. And then it's insanely bizarre to me that we're still all okay with all of the communist countries coming together, getting their own currency system, actively spying and doing reconnaissance on the U.S. I mean, this literally sounds like a portion of a video game I was playing the other night. Yeah, with this espionage type stuff, like between balloons, hijacking satellites, and being like X amount of miles from Florida in the United States. They're just constantly doing reconnaissance on us. Yeah. Why? Yeah. Why? If they're constantly casing you out.
Yeah, and meanwhile, we have this laptop out there that has all of these allegations. We have all these different whistleblowers coming forth with all these allegations. We have a money trail, a paper trail, alleged paper trail. And it's a situation where also we gave away our strategic oil supplies. We're giving that to who bought it? China. Also, what about ammunition? Where's all the ammunition at, right?
Yeah.
Ukraine. So it's this perfect setup for a sucker punch. And I know I've said that in previous shows, but it's just, it all adds up to be like, wait, where are the patriots at? Where are the people that love our country? We've got to start, figuring out a different game plan here and changing the rules.
They're not the ones running it, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Let's take a quick break there. More with Alex Lima coming up here. Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts. Got another story. Fox News, remember them? Find out where they're at in the ratings now. They have dropped significantly right here. Coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We're powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We got a program called K-Score. It's really cool. If you are thinking about maybe getting licensed at some point, this is an interesting play because you can do a side hustle nowadays. You can get free real estate school completed through what we call K-Score. It's powered by Kaplan. It's offered through Keller Williams Realty. And what it does, it allows you to get your free class online. You would then, of course, get fingerprinted, take your, pass your state exam, and then now you're a licensed realtor. So all these different people that you have in your sphere of influence, maybe you're a personal trainer, or a hairstylist, or who knows, even a contractor. You're talking to a certain amount of people a day. If the word real estate comes up, all you have to do is say, hey, I know somebody really awesome. They've got this radio talk show. They've got a great team, 15 buyer agents and listing agents. They do commercial, vacant land, residential real estate. And then what you would do is just simply refer that name and number. And now you would make 25% as a referral fee on that commission. So let's just say it's a $300,000 commission or sales price. You make one side of the transaction, which is typically around a 3%. You're talking about a $9,000 commission that would be split. So it's called K-Score through powered by Kaplan, and it's through the Keller Williams team here with the Real Estate Quarterback Show and Platinum MVP team. So if you have any interest in that, 727-263-3707, online at consumerqb.com. 727-263-3707, consumerqb.com. All right, we got Alex Lima in the house. Let's hit one property first. 605 Monterey Avenue. This is a hot listing that we've got in Clearwater. Monterey Avenue in Clearwater. This is a beautiful home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2163 square feet, non-flood zone, central location in Clearwater, and a gorgeous home, beautiful layout. You've got some nice wood cabinetry, tile flooring, beautiful pool, private pool, screened-in pool as well, and a beautiful home at Monterey Avenue in Clearwater. You can see all of our listings at Platinum Coastal Elite. PlatinumCoastalElite.com. That's PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, so we're talking current events, things happening out there with Alex Lima, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts. And Alex, another story I wanted to get to because it's interesting. You know, a few weeks back they basically pulled Tucker Carlson's show from the air. A lot of people were upset. A lot of conservatives that just, you know, I loved tuning in to Tucker at 8:00. I mean, I was like, if I was around on TV, I would just check it out. I mean, he's a truth seeker. He talks about the truth, and he points out a lot of things. You know, food supply, how they were attacking the food supply. I mean, all of these different stories. But I guess he touched a little bit too much on the pharmaceutical industry and some of the other industries that are, you know, super connected, right? So here's a clip I want to play about the ratings of Fox now.
MSNBC appears to have beaten Fox News in prime time last week for the first time in years. Is this a blip or is a real change happening here?
It's probably a bit early to say. Fox took a big hit in the ratings after canceling Tucker Carlson's top-rated show, and those losses seem to be lingering. But we also have to remember that Trump being indicted was always going to be ratings gold for liberal outlets.
Yeah, so it is. It's, you know, and then Tucker on Twitter now. But, you know, I love watching his show because he points out some really, you know, interesting points and some stories that you won't find anywhere else, Alex.
Yeah, it's. I find it interesting, and I truly believe that this is all a positive sign because people are starting to be more awakened. I talked about that last time I was on about being more awakened. They're not buying all this stuff anymore. They're getting tired of it. You know, people are actively boycotting things, saying enough is enough. You know, you take somebody, this cancel culture, taking somebody off. It's funny how cancel culture is like doing the reverse effect now, right? You're canceling the reverse culture, right? Because you're taking someone who is telling the truth, and because they hit a little too close to home, a little too much is getting out, you cut them, right? You're constantly throwing things in our face. You know, buy this product, this is what you need to support. We need to accept all of this. And then now people are finally going, you know what? I'm done, man. I'm tired of you telling me what I should and shouldn't listen to, that I need to be doing this, supporting this, not supporting that. And people are like, no, I'm not going to buy this anymore. I'm not going to watch this channel anymore. I'm going to go seek elsewhere.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, we got to do more of that. We got to have this parallel economy. PatriotMobile.com/REQB as well for the Real Estate Quarterback Show. PatriotMobile.com/REQB. Satellite phone store as well. We have, you know, so there's different places you can go now. So instead of just being stuck to your big major carriers that are mostly woke, Patriot Mobile, great option.
Yeah, you have options. Yep.
Secondvote.com is another website that kind of directs you. It's like, hey, don't spend money at this particular corporation. Patriot Square is another app that you can have on your phone. There's a parallel economy there.
Daily Wire. If you're tired of woke streaming services, you can go to Daily Wire. They're making movies and TV shows and stuff now.
Yeah,
you know, without all this extra agenda. Remember, all that stuff was originally intended to just be entertainment.
Yep.
Sports was entertainment.
Yep.
Movies, books. Well, other than, you know, factual books, right? But entertainment. When all of a sudden it became this medium to push agendas.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
It's
I like it being just entertainment. That's what I want.
Yeah, it's unprecedented. I think more and more people want that. And you know, movies like What is a Woman with Matt Walsh, that was a great one. I think it might be free on Twitter still. I'm not sure. But it used to be behind a paywall. But then Twitter opened it up. They're streaming it live now. I think it got how many millions of views? I mean, it was over 100
a lot.
million.
And it is on that Daily Wire because Matt Walsh is one of the ones that
Right.
his content is on that in that app and within that series and stuff too. So
and they
you can
put
watch it there as well.
They made it free on Twitter. But these are all things that, you know, again, most people, we kind of were talking between the break there a lot. You know, think about it. If you're an average person, you're super busy, you're a single mom, you're taking care of your kids, running around soccer, they're not keeping up with this stuff. They just hit the headlines and say, oh, yeah, Orange Man bad again. Oh, he's been bad for 8 years. He must be bad. The Orange Man's really bad. Yeah. But if you dig in, if you actually know what's going on, I mean, he's the one that moved the capital back to Jerusalem. He had peace in the Middle East. He had, you know, all these positive things. Lowest unemployment for Black, Latino. I mean, any class. I mean, the economy was banging. Everybody was making money. Everybody was happy. I remember thinking, man, there's no way he's not going to get reelected. Yeah. But little did we know the globalist and the uniparty. Had a different plan with this whole CCP virus that they unleashed and then had the lockdowns and all that kind of stuff. But it was, you know, when you look back, you look at it, wow, what a plan. What an orchestrated plan, Alex.
Insane. What a series of events. And I think people were, we too soon forget that, you know. I maybe it was more prominent for me because I was affected by it in every way because, you know, working as a first responder.
Yeah.
I actually was the paramedic for one of the very first cases of COVID that hit Florida.
Right.
Because travel was shut down, but the system that I was working for at the time had a deal with MacDill Air Force Base.
Yep.
So military was still flying.
Wow.
And I'm not going to disclose people's business, but a military personnel was coming back from Qatar, and they noticed they weren't looking so good on the plane ride back. And they came in and they were quarantined, and I had to put on the full outbreak hazmat suit and go in the room and draw the blood and stuff and everything. So I was there. Was sick with it, obviously, and then my business was affected by it, my warehouse space that I had by it. So I don't forget COVID, and I think people are forgetting that. I don't forget on the news people beating up old ladies for toilet paper, acting like savage animals.
Yeah,
right, acting like a bunch of idiots.
Yep.
We need to do better. We need to remember these things. You have to look at your past. You messed up, learn from it, and do better now.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, don't let them lock you down. Don't let them lock down your churches. You can't go to church, but you could go to what was it, like strip clubs and
gas station, and Walmart and stuff.
Yeah, major. But your local small business is not. Barber shops, I think, were shut down. Like almost every business shut down, but certain ones were okay. Mm-hmm. No church, but you can go to the strip club.
Right.
How is that?
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous. It really is. All right, Alex. About 30 seconds left. Tell us about BlackBelt Fitness and Martial Arts.
Yeah. So BlackBelt Fitness and Martial Arts. You can find me online at BlackBelt_fitness. I am a USCCA certified firearms and home defense instructor now. I've been doing this stuff for a long time, not just the firearm side, but being a competitive athlete, still active, training and competing. You can reach out to me. You can any questions you may have, even about hey, I live in this area. It doesn't have to be strictly pertaining to training with me. I get phone calls all the time of saying, hey, what's a good school around me for my kid to maybe train at?
There you go.
And I'll point you in the right direction.
I love it. And awesome. Well, good stuff. I always enjoy our conversations. Another great show today. Thanks to our producers as well. Brian's in today for Jose. Of course, Alex, Nicole, the whole team. Thank you for tuning in and supporting our show. We greatly appreciate that. And we always say we want you to please go out there and consider committing that random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And pray for our country. We really need that. Prayer works. And pray for our country like you have never done it before. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.